Hello, 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 brothers and sisters. How's it going? Hope you're having a splendid day or evening, depending on where you're at. This is starting to become my catchphrase. I always say this in the beginning of videos. Well, anyway, so faith. As Christians, we talk about faith all the time. Faith in Jesus, faith in God. Faith, faith, faith. The Bible talks about it all the time. But what exactly is it? It's oftentimes a nebulous and vague concept that we can't pinpoint exactly what it means, you know. So in this video, I'm going to try to put it under the spiritual microscope and try to dissect its anatomy. So we're going to try to come up with a strict definition of what faith is. Just like a mathematician would, you know. I'm someone with a mathematical background. I'm a sucker for a strict definition, as most mathematicians are. So in this video, I'm going to try to come up with a strict definition what exactly faith is. So let me give you an example first. Let's say you're going into another city via airplane. Go to visit a friend, for example. And this friend, he promises you that he'll pick you up you arrive at this airport at, say, 12 p.m., noontime. And your friend promises you that he'll pick you up. He or she, they'll pick you up at 6 p.m. after they get off work, for example. So you have to wait there at the airport for like 6 hours, going about, looking at stores, window shopping, as they say, people watching, whatever it is you like to do at airports when you wait. And you take this friend at their word because they're your friend, you trust them. They're someone trustworthy, incredible, based off of previous experiences, previous evidence. You know that they're trustworthy, they're credible, and they're going to deliver on their promise. In the meantime, there might be some storms happening outside of the airport. There might be a hailstorm, or there might be a thunderstorm, a hurricane. But you're unperturbed because you know this person is going to show up at 6 o'clock and they're going to pick you up. Now, if they don't, they're going to call you up in advance. They're going to say, hey, I'm running late because I'm stuck in the storm. And I'll be there in so hour. I'm going to be late a little bit. So you wait a bit longer. So that's the same thing. That's the same with God, basically. That's what faith is, basically. The definition is taking God at His word, taking someone at their word. That's what faith is. You know, when someone promises something, you believe them. You believe they're going to deliver on their promises. You know, whatever, and you're not perturbed by the circumstances that you might be going through. Temporary circumstances, temporary evidence to the contrary. Because God's word is flesh, as we all know. It has substance, as God says. The heaven and the earth shall pass, but my word will never pass away, as one of the verses goes. So yeah, believing in the world, following the world, believing whatever people say, whatever worldly people, what they say about God. That's by definition walking by sight. And we followers of Christ, we don't walk by sight, we walk in faith. You know, we don't put our trust in ephemeral circumstances that are contrary to God's promises. We don't put any stock in it, We don't put any stock in people that say, for example, God doesn't exist or his word is not trustworthy. We don't put any stock in this. We're not like worldly people that they're like a leaf, basically. Wherever the wind blows, they go. They just drift aimlessly. We're not like that. As followers of Christ, we're brutal. We're relentless. We're like salmon. They swim against the current. That's what us followers of Christ are, basically. We swim against the current. We don't go with the flow. In fact, most species of fish, they go against the current, I think. So we can learn a lot from fish. They're very wise, brothers and sisters. Sometimes we're not perfect, Sometimes we get perturbed. Sometimes we get anxious. We get fearful. We have doubts. We're human. We're not perfect, But faith is not. It's not an absence of doubt, just as courage is not the absence of fear. It's better to have a faith. Real faith is basically not feeling any feelings of faith, but you take action anyway. You do the works anyway. You do good deeds anyway, despite whatever feeling you might be feeling. It's better to not feel any faith whatsoever and do works anyway. That's better than actually having feelings of faith and not doing anything. Yeah, that's real faith, the former. That's absolutely the definition of faith. Faith is taking action despite whatever feeling you might be feeling, because feelings are of the flesh. Sometimes you feel happy. Sometimes you feel sad. Sometimes you feel anxious. Sometimes you feel depressed. But, God is a God of promises. He's not a God of emotions. Abraham, for example, from the Old Testament, he had to wait 25 years from the time that God promised him that Isaac will come till the time he actually came. 25 years went by. So you can imagine there were a lot of periods of frustration for Abraham during that waiting period, Even though God is primarily concerned with delivering his promises, that doesn't mean he doesn't care completely. He doesn't care about our day-to-day emotions. So if you're feeling down, if you're feeling depressed, then go to prayer to God. Be vulnerable about your emotions, how you're really feeling, and ask for a sign. There's no harm in it. He'll encourage you. He'll put things in your path that will encourage you, signs and people, He'll put things to encourage you along your path so you can keep going, God is he cares about how we feel, even though his primary concern is delivering his promises, God's timing is not our timing, God's timing is God's, and it's perfect. So faith is, and it's an intellectual and knowing of the heart that he'll deliver on his promises, however long that might take, just as we know that tomorrow the sun will come up. It doesn't matter if we're depressed or not, or anxious. We know that the sun is going to come up tomorrow morning. That's in the same way we know the sun will come up. The the same way, we should know that God will deliver on his promises. Brothers and sisters. So yeah, that's pretty much it, what I had for you today. I hope this was an encouragement to you along your path. Hope this video was a blessing. If this video resonated with you, then put the smack down on the like button, hit the notification bell, subscribe for more goodies, more videos. I'm not going anywhere. I'm here to keep encouraging you, my fellow followers of Christ. Keep feeding the sheep, as they say. And of course, I want to bring new people to Christ. That's another function of my channel. So from here on out, I might be doing some secular videos too, so I can get new eyeballs to my channel, bring unbelievers to Christ. That's one of my functions, as well as encouraging my fellow followers of Christ, the people who are already saved. If you have any prayer requests, send them my way. More than happy to help you out with the problem. We should all help each other out, especially these days. So that's pretty much it. Take care, brothers and sisters. God bless you all. I'll see you in the next video. Bye-bye.